All right, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. It's your first time on the channel. I'm Kevin Mangum. I'm actually a local realtor in the Houston area. And today I'll be talking about the pros and cons of living in Houston, Texas. So we're going to talk about that with detail and tell you the benefits and some of the not so benefits of living here in Houston. Let's get into it. So if this is your first time to the channel, I'm Kevin Mangum. I'm a local realtor here in the Houston market. I thank you for taking a look at the channel. We'll be talking about any and everything you can think about when it's regarding to Houston, Texas, or the Houston area. So please hit that like button if you like the content that I'm providing. Also, please subscribe so you can make sure you can keep track of all the content that we're providing. Once you hit that notification bell, you're able to keep up with the content. With that being said, today we'll talk about the pros and cons of living here in Houston. With me, personally, I like to get the bad stuff out the way. I know a lot of people like to get the fluff, but I like to get right into the things that's most challenging or things that might be challenging for me. With me, I actually lived here in the Houston area going on almost 40-something years, pretty much my whole life. I lived between Galveston all the way into College Station. So I also worked in the Houston area as well, and also thought about moving and relocating outside the Houston area for various reasons, job opportunities, just change. But I decided, along with me and my wife, to stay close to family. And we also stayed here because of benefits that you get with staying in Houston, Texas. But we're gonna start off with some of the challenges staying in Houston, Texas. And the first thing that comes to mind, to be honest with you, is construction. Maybe it's top of mind because I deal with trying to navigate through some construction today. One of the things that you find here in Houston with the growth that you have in the market, you also find that we got to make some adjustments with the infrastructure. So you're seeing that we're doing a lot of building on the highways, and sometimes I feel like they're just working on it to be working on it, but we are definitely putting a lot of highways up to help with the expansion, the growth of this market. For example, 99, which is like a loop that's going to be going around the surrounding areas of Houston. Houston already has 2 loops that's pretty much already finished. 610, which goes around the inner circle of Houston, the inner city. Then Beltway 8 kind of goes into the suburbs, the tollway, as they would call it. And now you have 99, which you'll see in spring, not spring, but you'll see over in the Cypress, Katy area. Also, you might see in spring. I never took 99 in that area, but I know 99 is definitely a project that you can expect to be seeing completed over the next few years. It's going to go from, like I said, from Katy to Cypress, all the way down to the Lake City, the Kemah, all the way to Baytown. It's just going to be another loop that's surrounding the whole Houston metro. So you're going to continue to see construction. With construction comes traffic. So that's the next con. I can tell you, like most major cities, you're going to have traffic. It's nothing new. If you're a person coming from like LA, you used to being on the 5, you're used to dealing with traffic. You might be only having to go 3 or 4 blocks. And you're sitting in traffic for 45 minutes to an hour. Well, in Houston, it can be the same thing. Depending on what time you leave, you can find yourself being only 30 minutes from downtown with no traffic, and you end up sitting in traffic for an hour, 15 minutes just because of the congestion due to, yes, again, construction, but also the growth of the metropolitan area. I mean, you're going to continue to have some of those challenges. Also, with that, here in Houston, you got to have a car. So what you find is we don't have a great, I guess you can say, transit setup. We just don't. We have metro, we have metro rail when you're close to the inner city. You have park and ride that you can ride in most of the suburbs. You have a park and ride where you can park your car and hop on the metro, and you can get to downtown or get into the main areas of like the medical center, things like that. But then again, you still need a car. Houston is a big area. The Houston metro area in general is huge. I think if you're talking about land mass, it's the second largest land mass metro area in the United States. I think the only one that's bigger is Dallas, Fort Worth, the metroplex. So it tells you here in Texas, you need a car. You're gonna need a car to get around, which could cause some traffic just because we just don't have the transit set up like you might get in some of the other places, other major cities. So traffic is definitely something you gotta deal with. The next thing For me personally, I think it will be property taxes. I know a lot of people love coming to Texas because guess what? You don't have state income tax, but you do have property taxes. And property taxes, it can range from 2% to all the way up to 4. A lot of it has to do with the fact that if you're in a newer developed community, you're going to have some of those extra taxes that come with developing the community, like mud tax. They have to be able to put the infrastructure to get the community started, and so the developer is going to be a part of taxing you on that. So you can always fight those taxes, like a lot of people do here in Houston, along in Texas. You fight the tax, your property taxes. You can hire a company to do it, and they maybe can save you some money for your taxes. But you also obviously saving a lot when you don't have state taxes and just paying your normal federal taxes. But the next thing will be the weather. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, Houston, you got great weather. It's not cold. You don't have the snowstorms and things like that. And you're right, we don't have those things. But in my opinion, we have bipolar weather sometimes. Sometimes you walk outside and it's beautiful and sunny. Next thing you know, you're getting hit with a rainstorm for 30, 40 minutes. And a lot of it has to do with being on the coast. Also with the weather, you're gonna have to understand it's hot in Houston. When we get into coming up here soon, the summer months, it is brutal. It's hot. If you're not used to it, you're gonna struggle. And for me, the best way of describing it is like if you ever go to a gym and you have a dry sauna and steam room, it's like going to Arizona or going to Vegas. It's hot out there, no doubt about it. But it's dry heat, so you kind of can get used to it a little bit, but it's still hot, no doubt about it. But when you come here to Houston, it's like going into a wet sauna. As soon as you walk in, it takes your breath away because of the humidity. The humidity is very high here in Houston, and so a lot of times what you see, especially if you're a person that like to work out, like myself, I like to work out outside. I just like being there. I worked in the gym for years, and so I just felt like I want to be pushed. I want to get out in nature. I was doing 75 hard and doing all these different things, and I like going outside. Well, the challenge with that is early in the morning, the humidity level was kind of high, so it took me some time getting used to it. And once you get used to it, you know how to adjust. But it's a challenge for a lot of people when they get here. I hear a lot of people get off the plane and like, wow, I didn't realize how hot I can feel it when I'm getting off the plane. So that's something you got to adjust to when it comes to weather. And one of the other big things that people talk about is the hurricanes. I can tell you, yes, hurricanes do come to the coast. It does come here so often, to Houston. And I know a lot of people remember Harvey and the devastation that Harvey did to the Houston community, Houston area in general. But it was a one-off situation. Typically, a hurricane, if it's gonna come, it's gonna pass through. You're gonna be well aware of it. You can prepare for it. A lot of times you'll find that hurricanes really don't hit Houston, the Houston area like that. A lot of times it goes to Louisiana, it might go south, and sometimes it comes, but it doesn't end up being as strong as it would be expected. A lot of times you find people having hurricane parties. Hurricane comes and it's like it's time to have a party, drink, and barbecue and do all the things that you would think people be doing for a holiday, but it's really a disaster. It could be coming our way, but you just got to know it could happen. But I will tell you that, is it something you got to be aware of? Yes. Is it something you need to panic about? No. Unfortunately, we can't predict it, but when they do come, we do know how to prepare for it, and you do know how to make those adjustments. My last con that I think is very, very maybe personal, but it's something that annoys me, and I hear a lot of people complain about it when they first move to relocate down here, is bugs and lizards. Let me throw them together, because to me they go hand in hand. I can tell you, when you first get down here, especially during the spring, summer months, if we have a heavy rain, you'll find after the rain, goes away, evaporates, that we end up having the mosquitoes. And when I tell you they can be bad, they can be bad. Matter of fact, you see mosquito trucks in most cities, most suburbs, usually coming around spraying throughout the night just to try to hopefully, kill off the mosquitoes. But if they don't, and if you happen to just be out in your yard and you're not a person that gets your yard exterminated or treated, you will get ate up. And I can tell you, I have my yard exterminated, treated for a number of bugs. I'm to the point now where it's like every quarter I'm getting it done. It's set up every quarter to be done. So I will tell you, you want to make sure you're aware of that when you move down, that the bugs are pretty bad. And if you're a family that's outdoorsy, you got kids in sports and things like that, make sure your car or truck or whatever vehicle you have some off. You're gonna need it because some places they might not spray and you can get ate up real bad by mosquitoes as well as roaches. They got some big wood roaches. As you go up north, you'll find that the woodlands, the wooded areas, sometimes you will see some big roaches, and it's nothing that's just part of the environment. So it's something you better be aware of. Also, these lizards, man, maybe it's just me, but I feel like these lizards are part of Jurassic Park. Like, they never go away. I'm just annoyed by, I got a lizard on my back patio that refuses to leave. Like, it's like him and the crew. So every time I go and, get my pillow set up, go hang out outside and be around the outdoors and just chill and enjoy my patio, it's kind of one of those things where they're like hanging out. So I kind of tie the lizards and the bugs together. So as I make sure the bugs are away, usually lizards are not as impacting my back patio or my front door. Because a lot of times my kid, he'll run in and grab something, leave the door wide open. Next thing you know, we're trying to catch a gecko before he gets deep in the house. So those are like my cons. Those are things that you want to be aware of. Now, there's some other things that people might talk about or might feel like they're their cons, but those are things that I really feel like impact a lot of people here in the Houston area. Now, with the bad, you got the good. And one of the big things I love about being in Houston is the diversity, the Houston area. You got people come from all around the world to want to live here in Houston. I think I read, and I think it was in Rocket Mortgage, there's like 142 different languages being spoken here in Houston, which is great. It's great for a number of reasons. Obviously, the more diversity you get a lot more education, a lot more culture has been brought into Houston. You see a lot more companies and Fortune 500 companies, which that ties into one of my pros, the job market, are coming to Houston because of diversity. Especially if you look at the medical field, if you look at energy, you can see from different walks of life, people come from all parts of the world and want to be a part of that. And Houston gives you that. With different cultures, with the diversity, you also get my next pro, which is food. I'm not a big foodie. I don't need food to live, but I like food, and I like going out with my family and with my wife just to go and try different restaurants around the Houston area. We live down south, and we're willing to drive all the way north just to have some food. Matter of fact, we went to Conroe because my son loves anime. He loves I'm trying to think of the actual, it'll pop into me, but it's like Dragon Ball Z. There you go, Dragon Ball Z. They have in Conroe, they actually have, I don't know the name, so forgive me if I don't say the name right, but they actually have like a ramen like restaurant, and it's basically designed off the characters of Dragon Ball Z. So we drove all the way from pretty much Big City just to eat some ramen at the Dragon Ball Z restaurant out there in Conroe. And so, it's a lot of cool places you're able to go and really enjoy good quality food. If you just want to have, great seafood, well, we're by the coast, so we're getting great fresh seafood. If you want to go and try, Thai food, we have a lot of Thai restaurants popped up. I can tell you, it's so many different ways that so many different foods you can eat. If you like Texas because you love barbecue, we got great barbecue. If you just want to be able to just try something that's, fine dining, you have plenty of high quality fine dining restaurants with, top shelves from all parts of the world have opened up different restaurants and things that appealing to, high society. So you have all those different things that you get in Houston, just like you get in other major cities. So the next pro that I think is kind of even tied to diversity, like I was saying, is the job market. So Houston has, I think, 23 Fortune 500 companies in the Houston area. Exxon has actually opened up their campus in the Spring area. Also, you have ConocoPhillips. They're here in the Houston area, Halliburton, just to name a few. You have a huge opportunity if you're looking to be into the energy sector, or you're looking to be in oil and gas or the medical field. I mean, we have one of the biggest medical centers in the actual world. I think we got the biggest medical campus in the world. So you got a lot of opportunity for us jobs here in Houston, Houston area. Not to mention we have one of the biggest ports actually here in the United States. I know Houston Port itself actually delivers the most tonnage when it comes to domestic and foreign products. So when you say we have opportunity, you have plenty of opportunity to really go and build a career in the job market here in the Houston area. And so that's actually my third pro. My fourth pro, I would say, would be the entertainment. You know, you're in the fourth largest city, you have plenty of opportunities to go out and enjoy yourself, no matter if you just want to catch a game. We have both. We have basketball with the Rockets. Obviously, we have the Houston Astros, World Series champs. We have the Houston Texans. We have a number of universities. Even though we're not actually in Houston, I'm a Texas A&M guy, Texas A&M grad, so gig 'em. That's 2 hours away. So, but you also got a University of Houston, Rice, Texas Southern, Prairie View, St. Thomas, Houston Baptist. Just plenty of things you can go do. You can go see the Dynamo in soccer. Even if you didn't want to go do those things, you have the opportunity to go to just different resorts. You have the Woodlands Resort. You have Margaritaville up in Conroe. You have Kima. You have all these different places you can go. You have all the things you need to be able to say, hey, I can go out and have a nice dinner, or I can go out and go to catch a game, or I can go and catch plays and different events that Houston has to offer. You go Cynthia's Wood Pavilion up in the Woodlands area if you want to catch a concert outdoors. So it's just all these different assortment of things you can do here in Houston. And I think once you get a chance to come, you'll be able to see what you get for your money, and that ties into affordability. I will be going a little bit more in depth on affordability, but one thing that I talk to people about is when you come here to Houston, you can immediately feel the difference when you're purchasing a home. You're not purchasing a home that says 1,200 square feet and it might cost you, 800,000 if you're on the West Coast, or if you're in New York, you're buying a small apartment and you're barely getting any room. Here, you can go and get a house that's 2,500 square feet, and you might only pay between 350 to 450,000, depending on where you decide to stay. And you can get some even cheaper than that. It's just your money goes further here in Houston. Not to mention if you had gas prices, just to get gas to get back and forth to work. We're usually around $3. Maybe right now we're a little less. For regular, I think we're like close to about $2.90, $2.99. Compared to out west, you're looking at about $5. And because we're coastal and we got a couple of major refineries in our area, I think you can see we're a little bit cheaper to be able to get the gas to us. So the affordability is great. And I can tell you, as far as like the cost of food and things like that, I think that varies depending on what state you're in. But I know for us, just being able to go out, buy major ticket items like a home, shopping, different places like that, doing different things like that, like it's cheaper. And so for me, I love the fact that in Houston you're getting more for your money. And that's one thing that I hear from everybody that's relocated here, or we helped to relocate here. So that's my pros and cons. I know some people have different pros, different cons, things they feel like they like about Houston, and things that challenge about being in the Houston area. But with that being said, if you like our content, please subscribe. Please hit the little bell. Keep up with it. Please leave us a comment. But other than that, you guys have a great day and be blessed. We hope to hear from you guys soon.